as Kelly's text mentioned, I was just at Purple Status Retreat, which is like freaking amazing, okay? So everyone should plan to promote to Purple Status this year so that you can go to next year's. All right, thank you very much. I told my elites, I was like, hey, it'd be so great if you guys just went Purple this year, because I'd love to see you there. So one of the things that I wanted to share a little tidbit first. Of course, Katie, so happy to be here with you guys. Hey, Danielle. Yes, of course, Tiffany. So I wanted to share a little tidbit with you guys before I got into my content. So I actually posted, I don't even know what day it is anymore. I posted at some point yesterday or the day before. Something stabbed me yesterday or the day before about how afraid I was to go to Purple Status Retreat, right? And this kind of ties into what I have to talk about from PSR. So I was a little bit afraid to go to Purple Status Retreat, okay? So this was my second PSR, but last year I knew a bunch of people going. I knew like 4, 5, 6 people who were going, some Sideline Sisters, some people from other teams that I had met at other events. And I was like, cool, we'll just go to this thing with these friends that I know and we'll learn. But this year it was just me. And I was like, oh, I legit, honestly, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I thought about not going. I was like, I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be that person. And the thought, I'm very introverted. I'm not super shy anymore, but I am still introverted. So the thought of having to go up to people and introduce myself. Hey, can I sit at this table? Is a seat? Literally asking, is anyone sitting here is my biggest nightmare. Because I just picture Forrest Gump where they're seats taken. You can't sit here, And so I was terrified to go. And then I found out that Bob Heilig was speaking, and he's my MCM, my Man Crush Monday of MLM, my MCM of MLM. And I was like, well, I guess I better go. So, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. So I went to PSR, and I'm so glad I did. So if you guys are afraid of going to convention, guess what? You're 100% not alone, okay? A lot of people are afraid to go to convention, especially for the first time, especially if they don't have a team going, especially if they're not sure whose sideline they are with, who's going to be there, if their sponsor isn't going. I'm telling you what, one thing that I continue to learn over and over and over at these events is that we are a family. We are a company of family, okay? Yeah, and I'm 6 months pregnant, so that was intense. The plane ride was no bueno. So if you guys are afraid to go to convention, I'm telling you that you will be welcomed with open arms. So get your freaking ticket and let's go. I actually won't be there because I'll be very pregnant and I'm very bummed about it, but you should go. Okay, so getting into the content that Bob talked about, he talked about a lot of stuff, and I shared a lot about it. I shared a lot about it with the leaders, the elites on the team, because this was a Purple Status Retreat. So a lot of this has to do with leadership, but there was some stuff in there that I was like, ooh, girl, here we go. Okay, so here we go. Aw, Fiona, you're so sweet. I just love your little face. So, and it's kind of fun to meet the team. You know what I mean? How often do you guys get to do that? At some point, 3 times a year. If you're not, okay, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about convention, but also Earn Bahamas, because that's amazing too. Okay. So it was, one of the things that he talked about that to me was very, whoa. Okay, is that he talked about this study that was done forever ago, I don't even know when, where they had these teachers and students, right? Me too, Lisa, it's gonna be fine. Listen, I'm not a hugger, I'm not a woo girl, I'm not a crier. You will become all these things at convention that you're not even aware you could become, okay? I am now all these things. So he was talking about this study that they did where they had these teachers and these students, and they told the teachers, okay, so they had the kids take IQ tests as a baseline measure of their IQ. And then they told the teachers, they basically took the class, split it in half, and they randomly, it had nothing to do with their actual IQ scores, but they told the teachers, okay, these are your high performers. These are the people with really high scores on their IQ test, okay? These people are going to go far. And these people over here, they actually scored a little bit too low, okay? They scored really low. They're not going to be very bright. They're probably going to be the students who just don't get it and nothing clicks. They're going to be, potentially your problem students. Good luck. And so at the end of the year, they actually had the kids redo they did another IQ test. And what they found was that the people who the teachers thought were smart ended up being smart. And the people who the teachers thought were not smart ended up being not smart. Even if they were the opposite at the beginning of the year. If I go in and I'm a smart kid, but my teacher thinks that I'm not, she's going to treat me like I'm not. And then I'm going to start to think I'm not. And then I'm not. Isn't that crazy? So it had nothing to do with the kid's actual ability. It had to do with how someone else treated them, how someone else saw them, how someone else placed value on them. It's terrifying. Yeah, it is terrifying. So in general, right? Okay, so the way that we believe in other people actually affects how they believe about themselves and how they perform. Okay? But here's the kicker. Of course, it always starts with what you believe about yourself. It starts with what you believe about yourself. And one of the things that he said that was just like stars are all over it. He said, "The life you have today is the one you're willing to put up with. The life you have today is the one you are willing to put up with." You know what I mean? I'm telling you guys what, it was like mind-blowing. This whole thing was mind-blowing. So he basically is talking about like a lot of us kind of get stuck in these ruts because we're comfortable, because, you know, we don't have to push too hard to get to that, you know, to maintain, or we don't have to push too hard to stay qualified. But you can actually start to create so much disconnect between where you are and where you want to be that you actually force yourself to take action, but it's all about your perception of yourself, right? Because if I think that I'm only worth making $500 a month, I'm only going to make $500 a month, just like those kids in their IQ tests, okay? If you only think you're worth $500 a month, you will only make $500 a month, okay? So if you set up your goals in a way that is higher than you actually believe yourself to be a value at, you will not hit that goal and you're going to get frustrated, okay? So this is a lot about personal development, you guys, a lot about personal development. You will never out-earn or outperform the person that you think you are deep down. You can say that you want to make $1 million a year, but if you don't think you're worth $1 million a year, you're not going to earn it. You're not going to earn it. Yes, who's having ahas? I was like, can I pick my brain up off the floor? Bob, thank you. What you get externally, what you see, what you get, what you earn is a reflection of what you believe about yourself inside. Your business, even with the big months, you may make more than you think you're actually worth, but it's always going to kind of baseline back out. It's going to baseline back out. And for some people who have a kind of a tough relationship with money, if they get more than they think they're worth, they're like, spend it, gotta go spend it, gotta go spend it. I'm not worth this money, you know? And sometimes it's subconscious and sometimes it's not. But Bob was saying that he personally, and a lot of people in the audience related, that as soon as they get that money, they were like, gotta spend it, like on all this shit they don't need. You know what I mean? And I put a star next to this one too, because I was like, yikes. Look at your income. Look at your bank account, okay? That's how much you think you're worth. That is how much you think you are worth. What do you make every month and what is in your bank account? That's how much you think you are worth. Bob said that he had his mindset on making $1 million. And when he did, he went and just bought a bunch of like random crap that he didn't need. And he had a hard time saving it for a while. That's awesome, Fiona. Hell yeah, girl. So your income in your bank account is a reflection of how much you think you're worth. So drop that mirror. And take a peek and, reset if you have to, you guys. Because this is, I have a really hard time saving too, Alex. Whoopsies. But this is, for me, was so eye-opening. Like, honestly, half the battle, you guys, is just being aware of this kind of stuff about yourself. And that's why personal development is so crucial. That's why going to these events is so crucial, all right? So he actually talked about this really, really cool story. And I was like, again, dude. So he was saying that he has like a 23-month-old son or something, 20 something around there. And he was like, I wanted to show him like a bag of popcorn popping in the microwave. He was like, I thought it'd be so cool. And so he was like, all right, how long does it take to cook a bag of popcorn? Like what, 3 minutes? Whatever, cool. So you put the popcorn in the microwave and you press 3 minutes. And he's like, what happens the first minute? You press 3 minutes and for the whole first minute, a whole lot of nothing happens. He's like, my son was getting bored. I could tell he was about to walk away. He was losing interest. But I kept telling him, like, no, wait, it's about to get really cool. So for the first minute of popping a bag of popcorn, absolutely nothing happens. Okay? For the second minute, still kind of not a lot happens, right? You get a couple of little pops here and there. The bag kind of starts to inflate to make room. But it's not like bananas, like, right? It's just like a little bit of popping here and there, right? But then what happens that third minute? Okay, every kernel in that bag pops in like minute 3, right? And it's insane and it sounds like friggin' pop rocks in your microwave and it's going crazy and the bag is jumping and all the energy is focused and everything is happening. And then boom, you've got a bag of popcorn, right? And so he said, what happens if I put the popcorn in for a minute, I take it out, I put it in for a minute, I take it out, and then I put it in for a minute, and I take it out. Would that bag of popcorn be popped? It would not. The results you get from intermittent action, close to 0. The results you get from continued consistency, huge. And he specifically made the point of saying, like, the microwave doesn't work any harder in the third minute, and it doesn't work any less hard in the first minute. The microwave works the same amount of hardness. The microwave has the same amount of power for all 3 minutes, but it's the consistency of the energy of the action that gets you a bag of popcorn at the end. Is that not crazy? So if that's not like a slap in the face on consistency, I don't know what is, right? All right, let's see where we're at. 16 minutes. Perfect. Oh gosh. That's pretty much exactly where I wanted to end and exactly time-wise where I wanted to be. So I hope you guys got a lot out of this. And it's not, the thing about this business and the word consistency is that it's not one thing. You can't do one thing consistently. And this was kind of a big thing for me too, is that you have to be doing parties. You have to be doing attraction marketing. You have to be doing opportunity messages. You have to be building relationships. You have to be being relatable. You have to be, you have to be doing all the things. You can't just be doing one of the things. It's like, I've heard this analogy too. It's like a clock or a watch, right? It has more than one gear. And if only one gear is working, that watch doesn't work. You know what I mean? So think about it that way too. You've got to be doing all the things. And if you're not, that's why you don't have a bag of popcorn. Okay? Your business should be a bag of popcorn, all right? So I hope that was helpful, you guys. Like I said, I might be back at some point with some more stuff. But I hope this was good for you guys. If you have any questions, let me know. And save and upload. Okay. And I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.